Newcastle in particular was very dynamic. There were probably more bands here than in any other city in the country. So you can imagine how vibrant that scene was. I played my first gig when I was 17, which is a long, long time ago. And I've been involved with it ever since. Most of my playing career was on the North Coast, and I came back to Newcastle in 86 or 87. Very, very busy place, lots of gigs. Live performance was a critical thing for if you were a musician in Newcastle. So there was a big audience for what you were doing, so you could actually make a living. The two biggest bands to come out of Newcastle were Screaming Jets and Silverchair. In terms of the international stage, just doesn't mean there haven't been others. There certainly have. I think at the moment the struggle for young bands is there just aren't the venues and there just aren't the performance spaces. The number of venues that have closed or shrunk in Newcastle, even over the last 10 years, is quite significant. Very, very few places to play.
Thanks. I'm a musician and singer-songwriter from Newcastle. I run a bi-weekly open mic night at the Hamilton Station Hotel, which is an opportunity for musicians and performers to get up on stage and perform sets. I've had the opportunity to be introduced to a lot of different interesting performers like Wilson and the Castaways and Jasmine and Brightness have all come and played, and I've been pretty blown away by their performances. And I'm wandering from streets to stages. So solo music is what I've been primarily doing for the past 4 or so years, but this year I also started a new band which is called Paper Thin, which is where most of my kind of creative energy has been going at the moment. Newcastle's not a bad place, in my opinion, to perform. I mean, I guess we are a smaller city compared to most places, but I think that the live music venues we have are all very good. There's a lot of people in Newcastle who are currently putting on less shows, but the shows that they do put on are bigger and cater to a bigger audience. I know they recently put on that Sapphire show at the Lass.
Well, I'm Lachlan Harvey, and my band is called Zappo. I play bass and I sing. I got to high school and we learnt music there, of course, and I got given a guitar that Christmas and got lessons then, and that was kind of my first foray into it, but I was like very disheartened and very impatient, and so it took a while to like get to a point where I was comfortable with what I was making, but like I've always enjoyed it. Well, Sapphire is a little idea myself, Pat and Max had, and it was just to like have a themed afternoon of live art and music at the Lass, so from like midday through till midnight. Well, initially, yeah, we thought like cheesy 80s sci-fi movie theme, but with like a psychedelic twist, hence PSY sci-fi. This weekend I'm hoping to really showcase this incredible network of creatives that I've come to know over the last 2 years. Yeah, we just really want to show everyone what we can do.
Dog Act, somewhat like we play punk and heavy music, but with the wrong kind of instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Newcastle's an easy city to kind of get established in, I feel, because you've just kind of got those few venues. Like, you play at Drone, if you talk to Beck, she'll hook you up with a show, really. It's a pretty easy way for young kids to break in. It is the shame, though, because that's kind of the only place you can play. There are no other all-ages venues.
So the Loft Youth venue was first off a space for youth run by Newcastle City Council in the centre of Newcastle, but most weekends it also operated as a live music venue for people under the age of 18. When I was about 14 or 15 years old, there's not a lot of places for someone in Newcastle to go and watch live music, and the Loft Youth venue provided me the option to go do that.
R.I.P. the Loft.
You know, I don't know if you've been to Drone, which is the only all-ages venue that's kind of endured the role of the Loft.
It's doing the job.
The job being, it takes kids from the community, it brings them in, they form friendships, and those friendships lead to them forming bands themselves.
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of...
That's the role.
It's a cycle.
I feel there's this really collective spirit pooling at the moment, and I feel it's gonna do great things, and people are gonna band together and make collectives and combine art and music, and that's kind of what this is about. Yeah, I think the future looks bright for the Newcastle music scene.